So before we get started, just want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Huge shout out to Tony, Sam, Starla, and Luke for your guys' continued support. It means the world to Luke and I, so thank you guys as always. And if you want to become a Patreon subscriber, the link is right in the bio of the description of this episode, patreon.com/AITDpod. Come join the Patreon family and get exclusive content. But enough about that, guys. We got a great episode coming up for you today. We got our friend Jonah Davison. If you guys probably seen his art on the social media platforms, beautiful images this man creates on the back of our trucks. So, hey, let's get it going, all right? Here we go. We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car.
You got hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out in the road and he hit me going 30 miles an hour.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this episode of All in the Delivery. This is episode 129, and everybody's getting started in peak season at this time, right? So before we get going here, let's get a quick round the table, shall we? You guys know him, my co-host down in West by God, Virginia, Luke. How are you, buddy?
Well, you're going to hear me, and I'm going to sound a little bit hoarse tonight. And other than that, I'm doing pretty good. It is from a vocal spat as we record this that happened yesterday at work, but all was good. And just one of them, 99% of the time it's always good, and then the 1% it's bad. And because of that, I lost my voice a little bit. So I'm glad we have a guest on tonight because that's it'll be good to hear his story. So you guys don't have to hear me as much. Try to. I don't know. I was cracking up because I was telling. I was telling my wife, I was like, this morning, I was like, I couldn't clear my throat. And I was like, I kind of sound like RFK Jr. right now. I was like, we couldn't. I was like, I didn't, man. It was like I was really starting to, but I got a little bit of it back. But anyway, I'm good. I'm good there, brother. Doing well.
Good. And joining us, guys, our guest today. He is all the way from the West Coast over there in California. Like I said before, you guys probably seen his art on the social media platforms and creating some awesome images on the back of the truck just out of dust and dirt, basically. Guys, please give it up for Jonah Davison. Jonah, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate you coming on, brother.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this one. Like we were saying off air, before, the first time I've ever seen your stuff was a video that you posted of you doing an image on the back of the truck, and it's impressive, man. It's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to getting to hear your backstory of how you got started with art. So it's gonna be
man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Same, dude. Because I've been saying before, I followed you it's been a while. Because on my old account. Before it got hacked, you were I think you were one of the first people that I followed on Instagram, honestly. So I swear, dude, I got a steel trap memory with past episodes of things. But as most of us, as we said, I think it was through Bobby back then. But I saw you, But it's I'm stoked to have you on, man. So this will be fun.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Good to be here.
Thanks, man. So, dude, take us back, brother. How did you, California, born and raised?
Born and raised. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
And growing up, where? I mean, if you don't have to say exactly where, but in what area of California?
Yeah, so it's a small mountain town in the foothills um, of the Sierras,
Mm-hmm.
between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe. And I basically, the town I live in now is the town that I went to high school in, and I basically went to grammar school here. And when I first got married, we moved out. We were a little bit closer, actually, to the building that I work out of right now, and kind of moved around, and finally we came back here, bought a house, and here we are, man. It's home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know on some of your Insta stories when you've posted on break, because I mean, God, the view, it's pretty breathtaking. I always pride myself on having good wilderness shots where I'm at, but man, when I saw it, that the first time, I was like, wow, that's a beautiful area.
Yeah, man, we've got some nice spots. I actually just got a route. I don't know if you want to get into this right now, but I just got a route in a town called Forest Hill. And dude, it's literally Forest Hill. And yeah, dude. I mean, it's way up in the mountains, real tall trees. What's the elevation? I want to say, oh man, they're gonna kill me if they listen to this. It's probably like 3,500. I'm taking a guess. I think it's that. But yeah, it's a beautiful spot, man. It's kind of a retirement route. Yeah, worst thing. I mean, I get snow. So yeah.
Oh, dude.
I gotta ask.
Not too much snow though.
No.
I gotta ask, because this has become a thing over the years of doing this podcast. Do they allow you guys to run tire chains out there when it snows? Do you guys have?
Yeah, they do.
Nice. See, it is. It must still. They still do it on the West Coast. It seems like, because we had a driver. Shout out to you, Albert, up in. He's in Washington State, and he runs chains too. But there's not many. Like where Dave's at, they don't have them in New York. They're not allowed to run them on the road. So it's always been like.
Oh, they're not allowed to.
Yeah.
So on the roads.
Okay, I thought that's what you're saying. Okay, wow.
Yeah. So like
because they don't want to chop them up.
Right. So we have to use them only if we get in like sticky situations, and we're like, okay, we just throw them on, maybe get out of the sticky situation, and then take them back off again.
So you better have 4-wheel drive and good tires.
4-wheel drive doesn't exist for us, but not.
We actually have a truck.
Not for any of the trucks.
So we have. Go ahead.
Wait, 4-wheel drive in the UPS truck or 4-wheel drive? You're talking about the UPS truck?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So when he I've been when he drives, and I know it's snowing up there, because for me, dude, like I clam up if it's bad out, and then I'm like, I'll put chains on and be fine. I told him, I was like, I don't know if I would be able to. I'm so accustomed to it. I was like, dude, I feel like it's like my armor, man. I mean, then. Granted, I'm not as dumb as I used to be. I don't go in areas now when I first did it, because obviously going down isn't too much safer than with or without them. But I've had some instances just say that. But yeah, I don't think I would be able to survive. So yeah, I'm happy to hear that, because it's alarming to me how many people don't. In Maine, same thing. We've had drivers in Maine. They don't run chains either. Fucking crazy to me.
Now, I'm guessing because it snows in so many places, that because here, you're only getting snow from like, I don't know, 35 or whatever up. So, it's not like there's a lot of roads there, and there's no big cities. I mean, Truckee, Lake Tahoe, but that's expected up there. So I'm guessing where you guys live, you're getting lots of snow in like areas where there's lots of people. Am I right about that? Or lots of roads?
In my route.
So they're trying to.
Yeah, it's like that where I'm at. If we do get hit, but it's not. We haven't had bad winters lately, but yeah, when we have it, there's different areas of where we cover where they'll plow roads better. But where I'm at, it's
right.
Not, yeah, it's pretty shitty. So I don't.
Yeah.
I definitely don't like, I don't mind. In my opinion, I've always said the worst weather, if you take the road part out of it, I would rather it be 10 degrees and snowing instead of like 38 degrees and pouring down the rain. But I don't know. I just I'm as I'm getting older, I'm getting more fair weather. I've realized that because I was like shivering.
Dude, that's me too, man. Oh, dude, that's me too, man. That's me too. Dude, I'm like, so people say California is the perfect weather, but I grew up here, so basically you have, dude, and I'm in like the perfect area, right? So like my house, it snows like this much and then melts off within like 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
But then in the summer, it's like, 95 to 100 degrees. So for me, the summer's too hot and the winter's too cold. So I'm like, man, dude, I can see why people buy another house, in another area and like switch after they retire. So I'm like, babe, maybe we should do that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm more of a fair weather person myself, and it's gotten that way with age.
Yeah, I've found myself shivered at like I got cold at 50 degrees, and the other day, and I was like, "Wow, well, this is it really was it was a hit hard moment." Because I'm about to be I'll be. Well, as this gets released, I guess I'll be just about 40. I'll be 40 on December 6th. So I don't know. I feel like the closer I'm getting to 40, the colder I'm getting as it stays warm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, right on.
That's awesome. So Jonah, take us back. How long have you been with the company?
I have been with UPS for 23 years. 23? Yeah, almost 24.
Awesome.
Almost 24.
Awesome. And
it's pretty crazy.
Started off as a preloader?
I started off as a preloader. Yep. Yeah, dude, it was one of those things, man, like it is, I think, for a lot of guys. We got married. I got married when I was 22.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still together. We have 3 boys.
Awesome.
And just needed a job, man. Just needed a job. So went to UPS, got hired. I was working at UPS in the mornings, then I'd go do construction during the day. So finally, when it got close to time to start driving, I said bye-bye to the construction and went full-time UPS, man.
Awesome.
And that's what I've been doing.
How long did you have to preload for?
I could have went driving, I think, at 3.5, 4 years, but I waited until like 5 years.
That's what I was. I was at 5 as well.
Yeah. So I didn't have to wait that long, but I chose to. I wasn't ready to go. And lots of the guys, because I got hired with one other dude. Well, I got hired with 3 other guys, same seniority date. 2 of the guys quit after like a couple of years, and then me and this other dude named Noah, we have the same exact seniority date, and he started driving like a year and a half before me, so he's higher on the list. But yeah, I waited till 5 years.
That's what I have. A few people that are above me now, because I did the same thing. I waited an extra year, and I'm glad I did. I was kind of like how you were. I wasn't married, but was job working and stuff. I did.
Yeah.
And then like I would like when it's peak season, and I don't want to get too much into that because I've said it a fucking bunch of times on here, but no, it was good for people to work a second job. And as somebody that was married, and did you have kids already when you got the preload job, or were you got?
No.
Okay.
No, we didn't have kids till I was 26. So I'm 45 now. So we got married 22. We waited 4 years before we had kids. And so I was already, let's see, I think I had started driving full time right when our first son was born.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of perfect.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was like, well, for me and my story. I mean,
Dave doesn't have a he got there, turned around, and walked on a truck. But go ahead.
No,
I know, man. You're one of those guys. That's cool, man.
I am one of those guys. But I mean, just a little backstory about me, quick. My dad's actually a retired UPSer, and that's sort of and that's sort of how I got in there. He did his 30 years and was out, and I was his helper one year. And then a few years later, I ended up getting in there myself. He's retired now, moved down to Virginia Beach, and I've been there for a little over 10 years now. And I only worked preload a month, and then I just got right on the truck.
Dude, good job, man. You didn't break your body doing that job.
Right.
Dude, that's because all the young guys do that job, right? And then they use your pride against you. They're like, dude, good job, man. And then you're like, yes, I am. All of a sudden, you just kill yourself doing it.
Oh, dude. And I totally drank that Kool-Aid because I was 22 when I started and was like 2 years removed. Or no, I was a year removed from playing football in college, and I was like, anything they said, that just cheered me on for 150-pounder earrings. I'm like, yeah, I could. I look back now, I just want to smack myself in the back of the head. But, yeah.
Exactly. You wouldn't have listened.
No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah. You wouldn't have listened, right? Because I think guys now it's like, hey guys, listen, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint.
Exactly.
I know you want to crush it, but you only get one body.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do things smart. You have to do it how they say.
Yeah.
Right? UPS says be safe, do all this stuff. If you do that stuff, it's going to be better for you, even though it's hard, because I know my tendency when I first started driving was just cry.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that bit me, dude. It bit me. And so, yeah, but you can't, some things you only learn through experience.
Of course.
So true.
Of course.
And it wasn't even really because the era you came up in driving, it was also a different, it wasn't, the work safe part wasn't there quite yet either. So I know it was a different,
right.
Because I started in 2007 just in the preload and being on, we were talking a few episodes back about somebody that wrote an answer to the question of the week about being a helper and driving, or being in sorting the truck while the driver was driving. I was like,
helper
I
in the back.
I said, and I laughed because I said, I did that as a helper. Yeah, I was like, I was in that era, so I did that a few times with the guy that I rode with back in the day.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it's
bulkhead doors wide open.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody cared then.
Man, I remember. Hey, okay, I remember doing something. All right, am I allowed to say this? This is a long time ago.
Sure. Say whatever you want, man.
It was winter. I was in a big old, like a 760th diesel.
Oh, I love it.
And I needed my passenger side door closed, and it was open. And I think I was going like, I don't know, 25 to 30 miles an hour. And I was like, I think I could do this. I just did it really quick.
Jumped up?
I jumped up, jumped over the 60th, closed it real quick, and got back. Yeah, so if you need to cut that, cut it.
Dude,
you're good, man.
I've thought about that so many times, and I'm I give you props for doing it, man. I chicken out. I'm like, there's not a chance. There's not a chance.
I know.
I'm like, and then you're like, I think I can reach it, and just no, too far.
No.
Away.
I mean, it was calculated though. I've always been pretty calculated in the things I do. And I was like, okay, if we get it right at this one point, I know exactly how to do it. I'll just skip over there, do it, and come back, and it worked. But I only did it once, and that was like, no telematics or anything like that. But again, I would be careful even though I'm putting this out on the internet, I would be careful who I tell that to, because you don't want someone to take license.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're a young driver and you're tempted to do that, don't do it.
Fucking do it.
Yeah, it's a lot more, and like you said with telematics and everything, like everything's tracked now. There's not. That's a message that I feel like it has to keep being said. But another thing that blows my mind that I'll say, I know to get it is theft. I said literally everything now is so tracked. Like why even why risk trying to
steal that new iPhone? Like,
and literally, especially the phones, I will never understand, because that's literally the most trackable thing you can steal. And it's like, man,
Right.
I don't know. I see stuff pop up, and don't do that to the young and older, any driver of any age, temptation or whatever.
Yeah.
Leave that alone.
Yeah.
Because I just never. That always has baffled me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Good times back then. That's good. So let's transition to the art side. When did you discover like you had this talent? Like, how long have you been doing art? I guess?
Yeah, man. High school, I took art class, and when I was a kid, I used to draw on everything. Not everything, but I used to do a lot of drawing. And I'd save them. So I'd put them in a folder and I'd keep them, and just because it was like, those are the things you made. I value them. So when I got to high school, it was kind of a natural thing. My older brother actually did art as well in high school. He was a junior when I came in as a freshman, and he was in Mr. Coverston's art class. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that. So I came in as a freshman, and I forget, I spent most of my time, because there was art 1, art 2, and advanced art. I asked my teacher, I said, can I move to advanced? And he said yes. I don't even remember why he said yes to me or anything. I think maybe I drew something that he thought was good.
Yeah.
So I basically, all I did, though, I spent all my time using just colored pencil, man. And then I would have a reference and I would draw, and I just spent a lot of time doing it. And so that's when I started, did 4 years of that. And then, you get out of high school and I just stopped doing it because, life gets busy and all that, right? And I think I maybe did, so I'm 45 now, I did a couple pieces and I had never painted, though, with paint.
Okay.
I'd never done it. And so I think I was in my 20s, I did a few pieces. And then when I got injured when I was, I'm 45. I got injured when I was about 35, 36. And I had a shoulder injury, so it was actually on my left shoulder. So I was out, and I had to heal up. So I just had this idea. I'm like, man, I think I'm gonna start drawing. I need something to do. So I started drawing, and I decided to paint. I thought I would try painting. I'm like, and I think I could do it. And I tried it. And here's the thing, though, dude. The more I do it, the more I realize how much I don't know. It's very true. Like, if you get into something and you get, you start like really pressing into it, did you realize how much you actually have to learn? And I realize that right now. Like, I even thought I was better, like 6 or 7 years ago. I thought I was better than I actually am. Which is actually a good thing, right?
Sure.
It's better to understand what you don't know. So I started, when I got injured, I started painting. It worked. People started asking me, hey, will you do this for me and I'll pay you? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That sounds fun. So I went and got my business license and made it like legit.
Yeah.
And, dude, I started Jonah Davison artwork about like 8 or 10 years ago. And yeah, man, so it's crazy. Working full-time UPS, obviously I'm only afforded so much time to invest into it.
Yep.
And I love it when I do it. I usually I just finished a mural for a fellow UPSer, actually. And then I have and then I'm getting ready to do a project for a guy. So I'm getting work.
Yes.
I'm like consistently. And yeah, man, it's really fun. The murals are really cool because you get to do them in public places where people can see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's better if you can share what you have
Right.
with everybody, it's more fulfilling. Like, that's one of the reasons I love doing the simple truck drawings, because everybody can see it.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm just, and don't get me wrong, it's cool. I geek out on details. Like, that's where I geek out on.
That's awesome.
Like, just like light, painting light, like value, color theory, all that stuff. Cause I never really learned this stuff. It's all kind of not self-taught, but like YouTube taught.
Yeah. Okay.
And learning how to do it is a whole nother bear.
Sure.
Right. So, I did this. There's a guy that called me about a year, maybe like 15 months ago. He called me, or no, maybe was it 2 years? I don't know. I'm not that good at time, but so he called me, said, "Hey, can you paint me a picture of my wife and I from like 16 years ago? We're up at Tahoe, and for her birthday, I want you to paint the picture." I'm like, "Okay." I said, I said, "I'm going to be fully transparent right now. Painting portraits is not what I usually do. I don't usually do that, especially color." Because that was when I really started learning and realizing, I was like, dude, I just have a lot to learn. I was not very confident doing it. So I said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to give you two options. I'll do one. So the first option is a pencil drawing. Okay, I can do a pencil. It's black and white, super, like, fairly simple. Geek out on the details, right? Easy. It's kind of in my wheelhouse. It's really something I'm comfortable doing.
Sure.
I'll charge you X amount for that, and then I'll charge you X amount." I said I can do that for this amount. The other option is colored with paint. Okay, I'll do that, but it's for X amount. And it was like significantly higher, because I was trying to get him to say yes to the pencil drawing, right? You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I said, "Hey, so this other color drawing, the painting will be, significantly more." He's like, "Yeah, I want to go with that one." I'm like, "Okay, let's do this." So I actually, dude, on that painting, I actually learned how to, I didn't tell him this, and I don't think he's going to be listening to this, but I actually taught him I taught myself how to, I used the primary colors, right? Red, yellow, blue. Those are if you mix any of those colors, you can get any color, dude, in the entire, color spectrum. If you use black or white, you can reduce, the value or make it, more higher or less. So I did the whole thing though, dude, with three colors. I made the whole painting. It was crazy. Wow. So yeah, I tried it, I did it, and it worked out, dude. He loved it.
That's
nice.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's sweet, dude. I never knew that. I never knew you just those three colors and you can just
crazy.
Good. Like, that's crazy.
I had to say the one part, because when you started that and you said the simple truck drawings, inside I was laughing, because I was like, "Oh man," he sounds like, because I said he doesn't know, he may not realize how good he is, because I'm sitting there like simple truck drawings. Listen to
dude, I tell you what though, dude, I think that there's actually a system that I use though, to do those drawings. I mean, it's not like I'm up there. So like, I am looking at I'm not freehanding. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not up there like, okay, yeah, this, I have a system, dude. So I take my phone and I take a photo of the back of the truck, okay, so I can see it right, square, and in the sunlight, so I can see every little bolt and every hinge on the door handle, everything on it. I can see the dust even in detail. I'll take that picture and then I'll reduce. Then I'll get my reference, whatever I want. I'll make it black and white, because you have to make it black and white, right, for the back of the truck, because it's only dark and light. It's actually pretty simplified that way, because you don't have to do the gradient.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, you have a harsh shadow and you have the light part. So what I do is I take my truck photo and then I overlay my reference photo over that, and then I reduce, what opacity is?
Yeah.
Okay, opacity. Opacity is like if you were to take a picture, you would reduce it to like 50% opacity, means you can see through it. It becomes transparent.
Okay.
So I take my reference, I make it like 50% opacity, and I put it over the truck so I can see the truck and all the little details on the truck through the reference. And then I snapshot it at the right ones, at the right opacity. I usually mess around with the opacity. Like I figure out which one's the best. And then I look at my picture and I take my baby wipe and I just do all the lines, dude. I can see right where everything's at. You got to try.
That's genius. That's actually genius.
Dude, it's a tool that just makes it so easy.
Yeah.
To hear you explain it like that, now you hearing you say that, now I understand. I'm like, oh, I get that. See it now.
Yeah, dude.
That is go here step by step, but to take away nonetheless, though, it's still very impressive. But now you say it, and I get it now a little bit more now.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I think it'd be awesome if people just like, honestly, at least one person just like try that. Because one of you guys can do it.
But
I think people just
are you able? You're able to complete that in an entire break session, though, obviously. So that
Yep, I can do that. Yeah.
So that would be if somebody could pull it off within the. I mean, break times are so different everywhere, though. I mean, I can't say a certain break time.
So here's my break.
Okay.
Yeah, so my break is so we get here with the Western Conference, we get 1 hour unpaid and then 2 15s paid. So that's an hour and a half, right?
That's sick.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have to take the full hour. We can take a half an hour. Okay. And there was for a while there, like 2 years ago, I was taking 5-minute lunches, and no one said anything.
See, that's
like, dude, I don't want to take a lunch, man. Yeah. So they started hammering down on that, so we had to change.
Yeah,
but
it always comes around. I
take it. Yeah. It's just whatever the flavor of the week.
Oh,
right? You guys
100%.
Exactly.
We know.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the same all the way over here. It's the same all the way over here.
Right now it's appearance.
Yeah.
Right now it's appearance.
Of course.
Same,
dude. They just read everybody the same guidelines.
Yeah.
Yo, every center manager in this nation must be all on the same email. It must be the same every fucking week for every center.
I think you're right.
That's something.
I
funny.
said there's probably a secret podcaster of center managers just trolling drivers. And on
dude, I think they're trolling me. They are trolling me. I'm pretty positive, actually. But that's the whole story. I don't know if you guys want to get into it or not, but but so we get and it's because of the.
I was about to ask that.
Of course it is.
Oh, I would like to hear that if you don't mind.
So what do they have
telling
to say about it? Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, this is a kind of a long story, but
okay. Go ahead.
That's what this is for, right?
Exactly.
So this is about a month and a half. See what's today? Oh, whoa, wait, no, dude, it's been 2 months already. Maybe 2 months and a week, 2 weeks, something like that. Wow. So okay, so I don't know if you guys saw the last video I did with the bear. I actually erased it. I actually erased the bear off the truck after like 24 hours. But did you guys see that one?
I believe I did. Yes, I think
so. Okay. So yeah, so it was the bear. So I made a video. I was up in this area in Forest Hill at the end of a cul-de-sac, right? Just beautiful place, dude. Perfect. So, I filmed, I had it all planned out. Actually didn't have to plan that much. I don't even think this piece actually took me an hour and 20 minutes. But, so I'm up there. I clock out for my lunch. I even filmed it. I have a timestamp on my phone, right, from when I started my lunch, just for proof.
Of course.
So I clock out. I'm like, okay, let's start. So I draw this big old T on the back of the truck, film it. I'm done in, an hour and 20 minutes. And so that was on a Tuesday. Okay. So that was a Tuesday. So I have all my footage ready to go. So 24 hours later on Wednesday, I take my lunch in a different town. Okay. It's a town called Auburn. And it's on the way back to the building. So 24 hours later, I have all my footage. I clock out for lunch at Starbucks. So I go and sit inside Starbucks, take my lunch, and post. Oh, okay. So rewind. Tuesday night, I edited everything, right? So my video is ready to go in CapCut, because that's what I use, CapCut. And edited everything Tuesday night. Wednesday comes around. I clock out at I took my lunch from 4 to 5 in Auburn, in Starbucks. So I post my video on Facebook. I think it's Facebook, Instagram. Those are the two platforms I use. So I think the Facebook one, most of my coworkers follow me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There's some guys that follow me on Instagram, but and I think lots of the guys that see my work from my building in my area that know me are on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I post it Wednesday. Okay, I go home, come back in Thursday morning, and I go to work, go do my route. On my way back into the building, I get a message on my diad board that says, you need to come into the office. This is an instruction, right? You know the magic word instruction. I'm like, dude, what did I do? What did I? I've crossed all my T's, dotted all my I's. I wear my seatbelt. I don't drive a release with the motor running. I'm everything, right?
Yeah.
I do everything safe. Drive the speed limit. Racking my brain, dude. What did I do? What happened? So I get in there, and one of the shop stewards is there. I said, "Hey man, what's going on?" And he says, "Yeah, it's something about stealing time." So I'm like, stealing time, what? And something I can't remember if he mentioned the artwork or not. I'm like, okay, all right, well, I'll just tell him the truth, right? So so we go in there and we called. So it was a shop steward, and then we called another shop steward. So he was on speakerphone. Then so it was one of my supervisors. It was two of my supervisors. One of them was kind of young, so he's kind of new. And then the other one was not an old time. He's probably as old as me. He's probably my age. He's been there. So he's been there for about the same amount of time I have. And then the LP guy, loss prevention. So I'm like, oh, dude, what's going to happen?
The loss prevention guy. Oh, shit. Okay.
Loss prevention guy. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, what is going on, guys? So I get in there, and they start asking me questions, cryptic questions that are kind of, I don't know where he's trying to go. I feel like he's fishing for an answer, but I don't know what he's really asking. So then he asked me, where did you draw that picture on the back of your truck? I said, I told him up in Forest Hill. And he says, well, why does it say, he said, why did you take your lunch in Auburn? So in the heat of the moment, I couldn't remember when I did it. I was like, dude, did I do it? Because this was Thursday. So I couldn't remember if I did it Wednesday or Tuesday. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And it finally dawned on me. I'm like, oh. I said, Dave, listen, I know you're trying to get me for something here. I don't know why. But I know what the discrepancy is. And I said, when did you start investigating this? Did you start investigating this when you saw my Facebook post? And he said, yep. I said, okay. I said, there's your problem. I said, you brought me in here under an assumption that I'm lying about when I drew it. You think I did it on Wednesday, but I did it on Tuesday, and I posted it on Wednesday. And the timestamp for my lunch from Wednesday says that I was in Auburn, not Forest Hill. So basically at that point the conversation was over, and I said, Dave, this conversation is over, man. I gotta go home.
Yeah.
This is over. And he's all, well, I'm gonna check that timestamp. I said, I wish you would. I said, I wish you'd do it right now, but I actually don't have time because I need to leave. And but I was so mad.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
was
can imagine.
tempted. I was tempted to go. Dude, I was tempted to go back in there the next day and just rub it in his face and say, hey, man, you didn't even apologize to me for that.
Right.
I wanted to, but I didn't. I held my tongue because I was pretty upset because he brought me in there under an assumption,
Right.
not hard,
Right.
hard evidence. So,
Yeah.
and he never said anything to me. He never said anything to me after that, dude, which is like, he still hasn't.
Yeah.
But whatever, I'm kind of just let it go. I'm like, hey, I gotta do what's right. So, so then Friday, I go in and I go up, I get in, clock in, I drive up to my route. I do my first couple stops. And I come up to Forest Hill Road and I look across the street and I see my center manager's truck.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
I'm like, I can't do it there.
Yeah.
So I drive over there. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say his name, but
Yeah,
don't.
like, hey. So what? I said, what are you doing? What are you doing here right now? I just sat there. I said, what are you doing here right now? He says, he's like looking down. I was trying to get a hold of you I was trying to tell you that you needed to go over some social media policies with one of our supervisors tonight. I'm like, I thought, why didn't you just call me? He said, there's no reception. I'm like, okay, I know you're trying to pull the wool over my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try and ask.
Why didn't you just message me on the dyad, boss? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
right.
Yeah,
Come on now.
exactly, because that's the main form of communication.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he was up there. He had another supervisor in the truck with him, which means they were, they were observing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead, even though I didn't have a shop steward there. I said, listen, and I said his name. I said, listen, I want to tell you what happened yesterday because the night before was when they brought me into the office, right, with the LP guy.
Mm-hmm.
I said, listen, I'm going to tell you everything that happened. I said, you guys brought me in there under an assumption. Okay. I took my lunch, Tuesday. I did it Tuesday. And then I posted it Wednesday. I was brought in under assumption. Everything was cleared. And here's another part of the story. Everybody at work has always said, good job, Jonah. When's your next mural on the back of the truck?
course.
Even the guy that was observing me, my center manager.
Really?
And the last time I heard from him about my work was like, yeah, when are you doing another one? So I couldn't figure out. I was like, man. So he came up, said that. I told him that story. I came in that night and I had a 45-minute conversation going over social media policy about UPS and all that, how you're not supposed to slander the company, do that, whatever. I was like, okay, that's cool. They paid me overtime for it, whatever.
Right.
We had a shop steward there. And so then we get to the end of the conversation and the supervisor, this supervisor is actually super cool. He's all, yeah. And one more thing, I got to give you the bad news now. I'm like, bad news. And he said, yeah, the center manager wants me to send you a discharge letter. I'm like, a discharge letter for what? And he says, I don't know. I'm like, CJ, you can't just tell me that. He didn't tell you what it's for. He said, no, he didn't even tell me what it's for. I was like, okay. So we found out. So Monica, one of my shop stewards she said, I'll talk to the center manager tomorrow morning and find out what it's for. So he calls him and he tells her that it's for defacing UPS property.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, no one has ever asked me one time not to do it. Not one supervisor, not one manager.
Not a verbal warning, nothing.
No,
Just
nothing.
Straight to a discharge letter.
Yep, I'm like, okay. I wanted so bad to discharge that office on Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, but Monica's like, you know what? it might make it worse if you go in there. Because, dude, I can't stand. I felt like my center manager didn't stand up to me against the LP guy. There's okay. Part of the story I left out. The LP manager told my center manager to give me a discharge letter for drawing on the back of the truck.
What?
I felt like my center manager wasn't standing up for me, right? I felt like he didn't say, "Hey, listen, I'll talk to him. I'll let him know."
Right.
Not to draw on the truck.
Right.
Dude, if somebody's gonna ask me, I'd be like, "Yeah, no problem, dude. I'll never do it again. It's fine."
Exactly.
I just was, I thought you guys liked it.
Right.
So, but I felt like he didn't stand up for me, and that rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, dude, you said you liked it, and then, and then you did that. Like, but check this out. Here's the twist. They never sent me a letter.
Never got it.
Dude, I never got it. I mean, it would have gotten RPS on it.
Yeah.
Return to sender.
Yeah.
I would have just sent it right back.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm not even going to read it.
Because I'll tell you the thing real fast of that drives me crazy is that there would be a time where that would be like, had that been in a right, like, just say a certain, like, I'll just, we'll just say a hypothetical thing. You did a Christmas, you did some type of Christmas drawing on the back of a UPS truck. People saw it, loved it. It, say, we'll say if it went viral, advertising, whatever, they would probably be, they would be advertising the they'd be like, great job, like you're doing, and then it's like at the same time everybody like patting you on the back saying, a great job, this is awesome too, and a flip of a switch, and I can't. I've been there 17 years, so I understand how they are, but it still makes me mad. God, just.
Yeah, I know. It's just I couldn't wrap my brain around why. Well, here's the thing though. Like when they brought me in on that Thursday night, that manager or that supervisor that brought me in under an assumption, I felt like he was trying to bully it. Like bully his way. And I'm like, dude, the one thing I've realized about myself is I really don't like bullies. I don't like bullies that really try and, overlord or overpower people. Like I don't like that at all. So, and I felt that with him, and I was like, why are you doing this? So that thing that rubbed me the wrong way in a big way. So I don't know, listen, I'm actually over it now, and I'm not like, I don't have ill feelings towards any of these guys. If I see them, if I make eye contact, I'll give them a courtesy glance, say hi, good morning.
Yeah.
I'm not holding grudges against anybody, but it's the culture of this gigantic machine that we work for.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's just, people, they are told what to do by their superiors.
Right.
And I think that they have to do certain things, man. That just, our center manager before this one, and I like our center manager. He's a good guy. He's a good family man. But the guy before him, dude, he was actually so good. He would stand up with the drivers because he used to drive. He used to be a driver for like 5 years or whatever. But he would stand up for the drivers against higher management, and he'd say, listen, I can't do that to my guys. I can't do it. You're asking, we have to put a few extra routes on today. It's really heavy, whatever. But that's a rare thing, I think.
It is.
So, but it's just the nature. Yeah, it's the nature of the machine, though. It's the nature of the beast of the UPS machine, dude. It's just, I'm thankful for the union. I'm thankful that we can say no sometimes.
Yeah, dude. It would be a totally different ball game without the union, and not in a good way. Not in a good way.
Right. Correct. I know. I've thought about that. I'm like, dude, imagine coming into work, dude, and getting like 20, 25%, 30% more stops than you're getting right now.
Yeah.
And them just saying, you know, you got to just do it. And then if you say, no, man, I need to be done at X time, you know, we need to create, you know, can we create another route or whatever? And if you say no or whatever, or if they tell you to go help somebody, and I get it, you know, sometimes guys need help, and you got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, like I remember when I started saying no, and because I would always say yes. I'm like, yeah, I can go help so and so. And I still will do that. You know, they don't ask me as much. I guess I'm considered a higher seniority driver, but at this point in the game. But I remember when I started saying no, and it felt good. But it's like, you know, they start looking at you like, it's like, hey, listen, man, I have a life,
Right.
a family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to get home, dude. So.
Hell yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. It's true. Like, that's just the way they work. Like, that's just the way like they function. And it's weird because, like, for instance, I got in trouble for a video one time. And I have a thing, like, I have this thing where I make parody songs, and I've made parody Christmas songs for like a while. And and so I had a parody song. The first one I ever did was called UPS is Coming to Town. Instead of Santa Claus is coming to town, it's UPS is coming to town. And you know, it was funny because, you know, I went to my on-cars and my center manager, and I told him, I was like, listen, I got the song, you know, I really want to do like a music video for it and just do like a fun video for it. Just, you know, it's the stressful time of the year right now. Let's bring a smile to some people's faces. Let's uplift the team here, you know, and like,
for sure.
And so like, that was like my whole thought process, my whole vibe of like wanting to like do this. And, you know, everybody thought it was a great idea. The supervisors, everybody like, yeah, it's awesome. I showed them the song. They were like, dude, this is hilarious. This is great. Go ahead and make a video for it. And there was some footage that was inside of the building, you know, but it wasn't anything like bad. Like, I mean, like, it was just like silly shit. Like, I put the GoPro camera on a box that was going down the belt, you know, and I told the loader who had the truck, I was like, listen, don't think about the camera, just pick up the box, just put it where it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? And that was going to be the cut scene for it, like in the video. And so, you know, I ended up completing the video, editing it, all that good stuff, posted it within like 24 hours, like it wasn't even 24 hours. It was that night. I put it up that morning. So maybe like 12 or 14 hours later, it had over like 1,000 views. And like, so like people are starting to share it on Facebook. People are starting to share it everywhere and all these other UPS groups and stuff. And I got a phone call from my center manager at like 10:30 that night. I was in bed watching TV. Like, I was in bed watching TV, and I got a phone call. He was like, hey, listen, Dave, you know, I just got a phone call from my boss, and I need you to take it down. So it got to that video made its way all up to district.
All the way.
Yeah, you know, to where like his boss is telling him, like, listen, like your driver's got to take that down. And so, you know, unfortunately that happened. But
bummer, dude.
Yeah.
Did you take it down?
So so long story short, yes, I took it down. But when my center manager never told me the reason why. And like I would ask him too. Like I asked him twice. I was like, dude, like what was the reasoning? Like what did they see that, you know, where they had to call you late at night to tell me to take it down? And he would never tell me. And then on his last day in our center, he was like, you remember how you always tell, you know, would like always ask me like, what was the reasoning? I was like, yeah. He goes, well, I'm going to tell you. I was like, God, thank Christ. Like, finally, I've been waiting. Yeah. I've been waiting 4 years for this. And like, you know, and it was because at the end, I thanked them, like in like the credits of the video. I thanked them for giving me the opportunity to, you know, make this video, you know, and it was because their names were on it. Their bosses didn't want I don't know, the rest of the company, maybe higher ups even, to see their names on the video, because it might make them look bad that they gave me permission to do it, I guess. It was something along those lines. It was really weird. So then when he told me that, I was like, that was it? I was like, dude, if you told me that like that night, I would have just took your names out of the video and reposted the video.
Yeah, right.
So sure as shit, I was like, fuck it. Like, I still have the program saved. I still have the file saved on my laptop. I went in there. I deleted. I deleted her names. Boop. Re-uploaded it to YouTube. Just like, come on, boss.
Did they say anything to you ever?
No, not.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Fix the glitch.
So, yeah. So
exactly.
I'm learning as I'm making more videos, and I've done a couple other ones, but nothing like really to that extent where it was like it involved like UPS property and shit.
Right.
Because I guess they get weird about that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do.
And it wasn't like bashing, like it wasn't trash talking. I mean, maybe there was like one line in the song, because obviously the song to the original or the lyrics to the original song is you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why, Santa Claus coming down. So like in all like the first like three choruses, the lines are, you better hide your dogs, you better put them inside. And then it's you better be home to sign this box from Naked Wines, right?
Okay.
And so like that was like the first three choruses, and then on the last chorus I changed the first line, and it was, you better hide your dogs, you better hide your wives, and just like because the UPS guy was coming. And so like, and the video is hilarious at that point because we got, my wife and I got like our friends involved who were they're like our best friends, and both of them are married, and we had his wife act like, here comes, the UPS guy, which is me, like walking up to like the doorstep with a package. The fun term you could use. Anyways, I'm walking up the door, and like I got his package. I ring the doorbell. I knock in the video, and then she answers, and she like gives this like look like up and down and a little like, like a little like thing like that. And it's just, the video is hilarious if you haven't seen it. But
dude, now I think I can't remember if I saw that or not. I might have. I gotta go find that, dude.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
You may have seen it. But yeah, dude, it's weird. Like they get weird with property of UPS's being like in the video, or in just on social media.
Yeah,
it seems like. But then you see, some. I don't know if you're familiar with some of these drivers, but like there's the one guy named Oscar who sings in a band, and his band No Resolve is pretty successful, and but he's a UPS driver on the side, and a lot of his videos, the way he would make them on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, would be like him like in the back of a truck, like wearing full get up uniform, all that stuff, and the caption is something like UPS driver at day or something like that. Or the caption may say something like, does your UPS driver do this? And then it cuts to a scene of him like in the music video. You know what I mean?
Rocking out.
But you never. I don't know. I'm sure there's some stuff that probably has happened like behind the scenes that we don't know about. But like, you don't see him like getting told to take their videos down, and that's probably because he really makes the company look good. So you gotta think about this.
I mean, it would be just, but what happened to Jonah is a perfect example of what can, in the flip of a switch, man, and then he would be in that situation of the exact same thing, because really, describing it as the big machine was a perfect description, because that is spot on in my eyes. And that so that's the part, no matter what. And for me, honestly, surprisingly, I've never gotten in trouble for videos as bad as a lot of mine have been, but I don't really associate anything with UPS. So I think that's the only reason they don't.
Right.
I think that's the only reason they've left me alone this time. And but also when I first got onto Instagram, Bobby. When I first met Bobby, he had just gotten in trouble.
Do you know Bobby, Jonah?
I do. I've never spoken with him, but I know. Yeah, UPS guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is currently.
Yeah,
he's not on Instagram anymore for the moment. I don't know if we talked to him a while back.
What's he doing?
He just wanted to unplug it. And was kind of off the grid is what he said. So he never said that he was done or that he wasn't, but he just but yeah, there was a few people that had asked what had happened, because he just kind of it was we had. Well, that was another story. We talked for a while, but it no, he had gotten in trouble, and I was like, I just got on. He had just gotten, I forget, like he didn't get in serious trouble, but he wasn't allowed to record in the truck anymore because he did a video that made them mad.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like, that was like right.
I remember that.
Right when I first like kind of got in touch with him and it just started, and I was like, oh. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just... I'll just bury my head in the sand over here and stay away from this. But no, it's but still though, I mean, it's like even with me, I've said it before on here. I've had friends ask me before, like, I like thinking I act how I sound in a video, like they would say, I don't know how you haven't been fired. And I said, what do you think? I walk up to people and it's like, hey motherfucker, here's your package, and I'm like, I don't so I don't I always laugh at that. I'm like, I don't do as much anymore. But with the break time though, it's like we get an hour break here and a paid 10. So we get 70 minutes of break, but we only have to take 30 of the hour as well. So normally what I do is I'll take 35 or 40, and then if I take 40, 9-5 for me would be 7 o'clock. That's the way I normally measure it.
Right.
So I'll have that in my 10-minute break. So I have 50 minutes basically to mess around on, if I want to do something that day or whatever, a lot of times, but it's perfect. It's a perfect job in a sense for if you have I mean, I'm not going to say, I'm not comparing what me making videos to you doing the talent that you have, but I'm videos. Saying, if you have a hobby or something that it is as time consuming as the job is for the rest of your outside life, because you have to take that break time anyway, because like we said, it's a flavor of the month thing. Eventually they'll be like, hey, you need to take your lunch, because we have that happen here too, where people skip it, and after a while it gets brought up at PCM, and just the wheels it just rotates and comes back around again.
Yeah, man. Wow. Okay. So I don't know how long you guys have been following me, but I had a video. I used to do this route where I'd be next to the river and I would jump. Dude, on a hot day, man, I'm jumping in that river. So I was like, let's film this. So I did. And I had a video where I jumped off this rock that was like,
I think I saw that one.
Pretty high.
Yeah. It looked like 10, 15 feet maybe.
Yeah. It was about that. It's about 10. It's about 15 feet. So I got in that night or whatever. I don't remember. It's been a while, maybe 6 years, 7 years. And one of my supervisors said, hey, I got a call from corporate or whatever district. And
oh no.
They said you need to take that video down because their name is in it. Their name, because you could see my shirt with the logo. And they said, you need to take that video down. She's all, I don't care if you do or not, but they said that you do. I'm like, okay. I never took it down. I never heard from anybody. But yeah, that's the one video they asked me to take down, and I didn't do it, but nobody said anything to me, so I was like, okay, well, you don't care that much.
Well, exactly.
But
leave it be.
Yeah, right.
Right. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I remember when Bobby started like taking his shirt off, just doing the videos in his undershirt.
Yeah.
Just so he didn't have the logo because they didn't want him to do that. And I remember him saying, I think I remember that because I was like, oh, whoa, they asked him not to film in the truck and stuff. That's crazy.
I know. That's
so,
yeah.
I guess it's like I don't know if it's like a privacy thing or they want to keep their logistics a secret, but
something. It's something.
Their logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
I think it's probably just some policy somewhere, right? That some high ups just like, oh, we can't do it. No, no options.
Yeah.
And then they just pass that down.
Right.
So yeah.
It's awesome.
So, but I actually thought about so I haven't done another drawing on the back of the truck since the last one about the story I just told you guys. I haven't done anything like that, but if I do, which I don't even know if I will at this point.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Just because of that hassle.
Yeah, I mean, after hearing
Still,
that,
no one has asked me not to do it yet.
I'll say now after hearing that, I can understand why you wouldn't want to do it again. But
yeah, it's just like even though no one has asked me not to do it.
Right.
See, that's part of my problem, dude. That's part of my problem. It's like I feel like I'm just want to do it anyway.
I'm the same way.
Even though I went through that, I'm like, well, I still want to do it. Like, and no one actually asked me not to, so I'm just gonna do it anyway. But I know I'm learning how to curb that because I don't want problems.
Of course.
Right.
But
of course.
But yeah, so
yeah, dude,
I'm learning how to be a better man.
Feel that, but like it's just so crazy because like. It's not like you're doing anything that's, I don't know, like, it's nothing vulgar. It's nothing like that. I mean, like, for instance, like, Luke was talking about the Christmas thing, or the Christmas one. Like, I saw you make a Santa Claus, like, one time out of it. And, like, I was, like, sick, dude. Like, and it's just, like, isn't that the whole, like, I don't know, another thing that people think about us? Is like like us being Santa Claus, like because we're constant,
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's a perfect analogy.
Right, it's true. I know. It's like I just did a self-portrait.
Yeah, dude. Out of dust.
Self-portrait of the company. Yeah,
I did this out of dirt.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, man, the UPS marketing guy could be calling me.
I know, dude.
Like, hey, let's collaborate, dude.
No, seriously.
No, they're just sitting there. Well, I mean, I got to bring this up. I got to bring this up because the UPS page, the UPS comment section is the most miserable comment section in the history of the internet, man. And I feel so bad. I've told Dave, I was like, whoever has to post on that page every day, I guarantee they just grit their teeth and brace for impact.
So true.
I know. Are you talking about the official UPS Facebook page?
Facebook, Instagram, anything.
Oh, dude,
so bad.
Oh, dude, the droppers go in there and just roast, dude. Just because they go in there and they don't care. They're like, no, this is what really happens.
Yeah. And then you have the disgruntled customers that are just like, oh, this is why my package didn't get delivered today.
Yeah.
And just like,
I know, exactly. Yeah.
And then you have like the automated response was like, hi, please send us a direct message with this and that. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm like, come on, man.
I know.
It's terrible.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's terrible. But Jonah, we've kept you for just slightly over an hour, man. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this, brother. It's awesome. Thank you for sharing stories and everything else. What we like to do too, real quick, is do you by any chance, I probably should have asked you this when I was messaging you, but do you by any chance have any good helper stories? Good or bad? Because in the beginning of this episode, if you heard what I said, I told my helper, I said, this one goes around back. And he went around back, and I drove off because this guy was terrible. And so, like, I left him. I left him right in the middle of the woods.
I've never done that. I don't think I could do it. But Dave was pretty savage in that moment.
I thought about doing that too in the on-road soup when he was riding with me.
We all have.
That would be amazing.
But
so let's see. The helper stories. Let me think.
I mean, we've had quite a few, like insane. Some insane, some insane ones too. Like, some weird. You know, we see some creatures. I feel like we always get some creatures. You know what I mean, some good though. Some bad.
Well. What a word! What a word to describe. And this is right when there's gonna be drivers right now, the helper in a jump seat right now. This call them creatures.
Yeah, they're listening on the Bluetooth speaker, and the helper's like, "What the fuck is that? Me? Am I the creature?"
Yeah, dude. You know, I honestly, I don't think I have any stories, man. For help, anything that stands out.
You got a bunch of
after the last, like normal people.
Yeah,
I had one guy one time that was funny because you said the word creature. It kind of, I don't know. You know, he had like long hair. What was he into? He was into something. I forget what it was. Like maybe he was I'm not saying that gaming is like, I don't know. I guess there's kind of I don't know if he was a gamer. You know, honestly, I think it was just his personality that was kind of strange.
Okay, of course. We get those.
But, you know, no crazy stories like falling out or anything like that.
God.
Yeah, I know. That'd be terrible. Wait, did I hear in the beginning of this, I thought I heard one of you guys saying that they went to the back of the truck and while they were sorting, they were like, the driver was driving while the helper was sorting.
Yeah, that was me. That was me as a helper.
That was
me.
You?
I was the helper that was sorting.
Oh, you as the helper. Yeah. Okay. Actually, this is probably the best story I have is when I was a helper. I was helping this guy. He's retired now. We were in Folsom. So Folsom is like kind of cookie cutter neighborhood, right? So everything's flat grid. And I was back when I was like 20, maybe 24, 23, 24. Okay. Dude, we had like 4 or 5 stops in a row, houses. And so I was running and he was tossing the packages out to me. I'd catch them and go, make a touchdown and come back and he'd toss it to me. It was like fun.
That's sick.
So, that's probably my best story.
No, it's like playing Paperboy. Like that's
exactly. I feel like I was playing football. Actually, it was like you're playing football. They just tossed the ball. I was running.
That's awesome.
So,
I've always said that the guy that I rode with, because of being with 5 peak seasons, I've called him. He's known as Disgruntled Doug on the podcast. He's tired. He's retired now, but I've always said, and I said, aside from the disgruntled part, I said literally he taught me about almost any way how I operate, how I do the job is basically almost through. I won't say 100%, but a good portion is what I go by what he had told me. But I always described him. I said he was never mad at you. He was just mad, if that makes sense. I was like, he was always nice. Like he was nice to me, but just it was always. And I always said, if this dude,
kind of mad,
he would have had, I swear to God, he would have been, if there would have been a camera just in that cab, like hidden that he didn't know about, I think he would have been famous because he couldn't be, dude. He was one of the biggest characters that I've ever come across, and I've wanted to bring him on here so bad, but he's been retired for a couple of years now, and I've told Dave, I said I'd have to get him riled up and get him pissed off talking about old stuff because I said I don't want a happy retirement Doug on here. I want to get him fired up and get him on here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you want to show everybody how we used to be.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I told some of my helper stories in the past, but no, I've always as a helper, I had some. Honestly, you know, I had some fun times. I had some good times. They were. But you know, I also was working. They did my first year. They didn't worry about DOT or not. I didn't have DOT hours, but hours you could work, and I think I was cranking in 70+ hours a week my first couple of years, just driver helping and preloading. It was pretty insane, but yeah, I was also early 20s. It was different time. Not doing that now.
Yep.
This is true.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Do you have anything to plug? You got your artwork Instagram page too, right?
Yep. Yes, I do.
So go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Instagram is the best place to see the work.
And that's at jonah.davison.artwork.
Got it.
All right, cool. And then I'm sure many of the drivers also follow you at Man Epic Adventures. So
yeah.
So definitely go give Jonah a follow, guys. Check out his artwork. Very talented, brother. You're very talented when it comes to that stuff.
Thanks, man. Thank you, guys.
It's awesome.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, dude, it's been a pleasure, man. I enjoyed being on here. It's fun.
We're glad to have you on, man. We appreciate you coming on and being a part of it, brother, for sure.
Totally. And
man.
Don't go anywhere after I say goodbye. We would like to say goodbye off air, okay? So,
okay.
Everybody, thank you all for joining us. Thank you again to Jonah as well for sharing his story here with us. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go follow him on Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram. If you're new here, welcome. Give us a follow at AITD Pod. And we got our whole links all in that stuff. Patreon, YouTube, all that fun stuff, and where you can find the podcast episodes. Also, go follow Luke, right, at Real Nomad Delivery Guy. Everybody, thank you all for joining us. Stay safe out there. We'll see you all next week.
Later, everybody.